Hello there, thanks so much for tuning in. So I'm Tim and this is my Carbon Coach channel, all about allotment life, eco living, generally being good to the world. So welcome if you're new here, welcome back if you're not. I appreciate all of you tuning in. In just a jiffy, we're going to be cracking on with the plot tour. I haven't done a plot tour in absolutely ages, so felt right to be doing one this week. First though, just a gentle reminder to please hit the subscribe button if you aren't already, and to tap that thumbs up button. Each thumbs up and every subscription really means a lot and really helps the channel to grow, so that would be awesome if you could. So, on with the tour, and I'll get the camera flipped around, and yeah, off we go. So starting off over here at the start of the plot, we've got the wildflower bed. So some of you might have seen it last year. It was thriving, it was doing so well. This year, not so much. We've got some dandelions in here, we've got a few other bits and pieces, and the plan actually is just to leave it, to let it do its thing, because I want to see exactly what happens. Some of the wildflowers that popped up last year I know are annuals, so I need to sow them again, but some of them might be perennials, is it the other word? And so yeah, I just basically want to see what happens with this, so I'm leaving it completely. There's some nettles and things, and like I say, dandelions that I need to weed out, but hopefully everything else will have the space to sort of thrive and grow back. I also need to cut the edge. I haven't been around with the edge trimmer just for a little while, so that was over that side. And then herb beds, so there's still nothing in this very end herb bed. The daffodils haven't bloomed at all, but they're going strength to strength. They're like that tall now, so they're just doing their own thing. Nothing in the end herb bed, but down here, this was the very first herb bed that I built. This was like way back, like April last year or something, but I didn't fill it with enough soil, so there's like a gap below it. So what I'm going to do is actually move the herbs that are in here into the end, which is a full bed, and then I'm going to put some new herbs into here. So that's what's going on. I've got my three lovely lavenders. I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but I've got this one, which is a beautiful pink lavender. I've got this one, which I actually planted last year, but it's starting to thrive now. There's definitely some new growth and some green on it, which looks lovely. And then this one, which I picked up from B&Q maybe about a month ago or so, something like that, and that one's doing really well. So the plan is to have even more lavenders just spread out along the border there, so that's going to be great. And then this is old Monty. He's the basil mint, and he's doing really well, so thick and smells absolutely wonderful. So that's it kind of for this view, I guess, except just down here we've got the elephant garlics, and they are just doing so wonderfully. Yeah, they're really thriving. Going to say thriving a lot in this video, I think that's the word for the video. So yeah, they're doing really well. They're just going to stay there and keep doing their thing, which is brilliant. So this is looking back at the beautiful shed. So I've still got three sides painted. The fourth side isn't painted. That's going to be for a future video, because I've got plans for what's going to happen on that side. Those of you that have seen around the back of the shed know that there's a bit of a lean-to, but I think I'm going to get rid of the lean-to. Anyway, down here we've got more mints. So this one was Sally Strawberry mint, and she's not doing too well, unfortunately. There's a couple of bits of new growth, but the actual main plants from last year never really recovered from whatever happened to her, so that's a bit of a shame. However, her next door neighbour and possible lover, the OG mint, Monty, chocolate mint, is bouncing back. Still needs a bit more trimming and stuff, but there is absolutely new growth in there, so loving that, because that is my favourite mint out of all of them. Chocolate mint just goes so nicely with so many desserts, and you can probably tell I like my desserts. What else is happening? Just up here, it's probably too shadowy, but I've added some coat hooks now onto the shed door, so don't just have to chuck my coat into there. And then we've got the good old workbench. So this time last year I was painting all of this blue and white path edging by hand in the shed in a very crowded environment. I didn't have the picnic bench / workbench, so that's on the go currently, because I finally, Wilko's has got everything back in stock. They're a great price, so what's happening is I'm continuing with the edging down the pathway, and you'll see where I'm going to be heading shortly, probably in about 2 edits time, with why I'm now focusing on doing that part as well. So that's an ongoing project, but the sun is beautiful. I've got my hat on though, it's not actually that cold, I just don't have any hair anymore. So that's that, and I'm wearing my hoodie because it's a suitable place to actually clip the old microphone on. So that's what that's all about. Anyway, on to the next part of the plot tour. So these are my vegetable beds, well, fruit and vegetable, I guess. So in the first one here we have got all of the onions and garlics and things. So the first 2 rows here are white onions, and they're coming on really strong. So they were sown from seed last autumn/winter, so I need to actually double check when they're due to be dug up, and also what I do with them afterwards. I think there's some kind of hanging process, etc. Then we've got 2 rows of garlic, can't remember exactly what type. One was an early white, one was like a Carcassonne or something like that. Then we've got the rows of red onions. They're not doing too well, but I've got it on good authority that red onions don't really grow that large straight away. Another row of garlics. Bit of empty space at the back. All of this is empty at the back here as well. I need to get my carrots and parsnips into the back, so that's something that I'm going to do possibly over the next week or 2, and then get a bit of netting over it or something like that. This section here, I've got 2 troughs, and this is where my shallots have gone in. So these are my second early potatoes, and I didn't actually plant these. The other week my nieces came down. It was on the 29th of March, I think, so like the day that you could meet people outside of your household, outside in the public, less than 6 people, etc. So we all came up here, nice and socially distanced, etc. And yeah, my 2 lovely little nieces, Bea and Evie, planted a row of shallots each. So we're going to have a little mini potato off, I guess, and yeah, see how they're doing. So I think there's like 6 seed potatoes in each row, so that's going to give me plenty of potatoes. I had them coming out of my ears last year, so there's that. The next bed is my dumping ground at the moment, so this is kind of where the progress stops. I don't have any wood chipping down here on the pathway in between. Yeah, it's just overgrown. So at the moment I've got a big piece of guttering which I dug out of the beds over there, and got a load of sort of brambles and chopped down wood that I need to dispose of. And then over here in my final bed, this is what I planted the other day. So the asparagus, the strawberries looking okay. Some of them are looking a little bit touched by the frost, a touch of frost. We've got the fennel and the rhubarb, and I don't know if you can make it out, we're going to zoom in a second. I brought my sweet peas up. I don't know if I've done them right in the house or not, but I've finally got a stand and we're going to plant them out. So let's crack on with that in the middle of the plot tour. Okay, so I've got myself a little frame. That was from Morrison's. Can't remember what it was like £8 or something. It's not quite the grand arch that I had planned on having going over these beds, but it'll have to do at the moment. So this is my tray of sweet peas. Some of them have fallen over and are not looking too great. Some of them are staying upright. I've definitely sort of learnt from my mistakes already with doing them that I needed sort of deeper pots. Let's get down here actually, because yeah, the pots that I grown them in weren't long enough. I need like root trainers, or what I started to do in the end was use toilet rolls. So anyway, what we're going to do is start putting in some of these and get rid of the name tags, tear off some of the pots. However, these are core pots, so technically I guess I could bury them in them, but I just want to sort of at least get rid of the top parts of them. And again, I've got no clue if I'm actually doing this part right or not, but yeah, time will tell. It's all a big experiment for the first year or 2, I guess, really, and then yeah, see how it goes from there. Get rid of that big clump of soil, tap that in there, and so then those guys are hopefully going to be able to start sort of climbing up there. I don't know if they're too far away, so I'll put the next one a little bit closer to the stand, I guess, and see how we get on with that. So these are a few different varieties of sweet peas, Mrs. Bolton's, Blue Velvets, and something else, possibly Janet's, I think. And yeah, these came from somewhere called the Floral Project, and I made a video about that. It's a place which sends you seasonal seeds for flowers each month as kind of like a subscription box. I didn't subscribe, I just went for the 1 month just to give them a try. Wasn't gifted or anything like that. I'm not that kind of a YouTuber yet. But these are going in here and now like this, and bury that in there. I don't really know how they attach to that, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to keep on planting these in and see how we get on. There we go. So that's some of my sweet peas have been sown, well, planted out, I guess is the word. So just going to give those a really good water, and hopefully they thrive. This part is quite sunny up here on the patch, so you never know, they might do all right. But anyway, we're going to leave that. Hopefully they'll start perking up and attach themselves to this sort of frame obelisk type thing. Time will tell. There's always next year to do better. Anyway, on to the final section of the plot, I guess. So this is what I've been working on for the past week or so. Well, it was a couple of days really. But yeah, polytunnel. It's now in situ-ish, I want to say. It's where it's roughly meant to be. As you can probably see, it's not exactly level. It's currently sloping downhill like that and kind of to the back corner, so it's a bit drunk. So the plan is, once I get those edging strips all along the front, I'll be able to know what level the front is. And I don't know if you remember, piled up in front of the shed there were a load of bricks, so I'm going to have like a brick entranceway so I can put some pots and pots and stuff in front of it and have the entrance to the polytunnel here. At home, I've got a load of chili plants, which seem to be doing all right, fingers crossed. Got two beautiful loofah plants, Larry and Loretta. Larry is like stunning, he is thriving. I said I'd say thriving a lot. However, Loretta's doing all right now. She had a bit of a poorly start, but she's picking up and she's catching him up now, which is fantastic. What you don't need to do is look too closely at this area here. So this is going to be hidden, obviously, behind the polytunnel. And this is going to be my composting area. Hopefully in time I'll upgrade from a Dalek and get myself some pallets like next door I've got to make myself a proper palleted compost area, and that's where a lot of these branches and twigs are going to go to make sort of like the wildlife corner. So something for everyone, something for me, something for the bugs and insects and things like that. So that's pretty exciting. And then over on this side, stick my arm through, there's going to be a border. So you can see I've left a bit of a strip. This needs to move across a bit to leave a bit of a bigger flower border. That's where my sunflowers are going to go. Any kind of pretty flowers, gladioli, cosmoses, I quite want to try. But anyway, that's the plan. So yeah, once I've got the path edging done, I'll be able to level this up. I don't think I've got enough soil to be able to fully level it up, so at least if it's horizontal that way, I don't mind if it slopes backwards a little bit, because that's just the natural slope of the plot. Actually, it does fall away from where you are looking at me to where I am. There is a gradual sort of decline back here, so I don't mind if it goes that way, but it does need to look straight so it's not freaking people out as they walk past and upsetting people and mine OCD. So anyway, that was the tour of the plot. Hope you enjoyed it. I mean, there's not a great amount to see because it's kind of like at the very start of the doing season, but the main thing was getting the sweet peas in to give those a try and showing you guys what I'd done with polytunnel progress, etc. So that was the tour of the plot. Please feel free to let me know what you thought. Any comments, ideas, thoughts, down in the comments section below. Really love hearing from all of you. So yeah, please feel free to leave something down there. But the video isn't quite over yet. We've got a few updates from the wider world of My Carbon Coach to go through. So yeah, shouldn't take long, but yeah, just here's a few other bits that I've been up to and things that you might be interested in. First up is the Eco Book Club. So some of you might be aware I run an Eco Book Club over on Facebook predominantly, with smatterings of it on Instagram as well. And each month we read a book or two. There's 2 books recommended, and it's up to you if you want to read both, if you've got the time. If you want to read one, then that's absolutely fine too. So last month in March was all about foraging. So this was the book that I actually read, The Edible City by John Renston, and the other one was The Forager's Calendar by John Wright, if I remember right. And yeah, that was quite a fun read. And the book club, yeah, just sort of chats a bit on Facebook, and then each month I've been trying to do a Zoom where we meet face to face like a regular book club and discuss the books. So if that sounds like your speed, there's a link to the Facebook book club down below, and there's also a link to my website and blog where I've left the book review of this. So this month is all about, in April, mental health and that kind of thing, and one of the books that I picked up is The Hidden Life of Trees by Peter Wohlleben. So I haven't started this yet. I'm planning to have a sit down and read after I finished editing this video tonight, actually, and get stuck into this. It's a bestseller. It's highly, highly recommended, and it's got a foreword by Tim Flannery, who's written another book that we read, Atmosphere of Hope. So yeah, that's going to be really cool to get stuck into this. Looking forward to that. So that is book club news. On to litter picking news now, and I also run a local litter picking group called Tidy Up Taunton, and we've been going from strength to strength. And the past week, alongside my friend Sophie, who runs a fellow litter picking group called Show Me Your Rubbish, we organised the big Taunton spring clean, and it has gone so well. We're both really, really happy with how it's gone. We set up the event on Facebook and then started spreading it around sort of local places, and we've had so many people get involved. The idea was that everyone just sort of organised their own litter picks in and around their own communities. It could be tidying up their street as just a family, going out on your own when you walk the dog, just picking up some litter on your dog picking route or dog walking route. Sorry, or it could be organising kind of like a big clean. And I organised 4 litter picks, and there's a train going past. That is a really long train. So I organised, like I was saying, 4 litter picks around my local part of Taunton. So I covered the train station, a local park. We did sort of a snicket. Does anyone else call alleyways and cut-throughs snickets, or is that just me? I don't know where I heard that word or where it came from, but I'm pretty sure that is a word. And then finally we tackled this verge by the side of a flyover, and that was the worst. It was absolutely crazy. There were 7 of us out tackling that, and we barely got half of it, I reckon. So that was, yeah, litter picking. So thank you to everyone that was involved. If you're watching this video, I'm not sure how much my litter picking crew crosses over with my allotment crew. Crew sounds so gangster, especially in my beanie hat. Anyway, yeah, big thanks to everyone that got involved. We're going to do the same again next year, and me and Soph thinking up plans for like a summer event or something, like picnic in the park and a pick, something along those lines. So stay tuned for that. So on to other bits and bobs that don't really have their own fancy title screen, I guess. Next weekend, on Sunday the 18th of April, if you're in and around Taunton, there is going to be the Taunton Independent Market. Now this is a wonderful enterprise that has been set up by a local lady called Michelle, and I'm going to be there with a stall for Tidy Up Taunton. So you're going to be able to come over, say hello to me, find out exactly what I'm up to in terms of litter picking and tidying up Taunton, and I'm going to have merch on sale. So some of you might have seen this from a video previously or two, and I don't know how well this is being picked out by the camera, but I do Tidy Up Taunton tote bags, 100% cotton, so there's no plastics involved in them. And yeah, you can grab those either from the website if you're not in and around Taunton, £8 plus £2 postage, or if you are in Taunton, you can either get them from me from the market next week, or £8 and it can be click and collected. So there is that, a bit of Del Boy selling going on in the video. Whilst I'm in the mood for selling myself, Patreon, got to mention it each video. So Patreon's a way that you can help to support me do everything that I'm doing, from the book club to the litter picking to the allotmenteering. It's a little way of giving something to creators each and every month. I've got some wonderful patrons that are currently supporting me, and your help has enabled me to do so much already, and yeah, really, really thankful. So if you're interested in finding out more of how to become a patron of mine and support what I'm doing, then the links are in the usual place. Yep, you've guessed it, down below. The final bit of other news that I've got is that we've got 1 video left in April, so that'll be in a fortnight's time, and then I'm going to be taking a break for May. The reason being is that I am just about to finish my degree, my Bachelor's of Environmental Science. That has got my final deadlines for handing in work on the 2nd of June, and so I need May to be pretty much focused on doing what I'm doing with getting as good a grade as I can. So apologies, but there's going to be a bit of radio silence here on YouTube at the very least for the whole month of May. However, if you are interested in seeing what I'm up to, I am going to do my best to remain active across my socials, so Instagram and Facebook, a little bit of Twitter. I generally tend not to get stuck into Twitter, LinkedIn. Anyway, I'm pretty much My Carbon Coach on any of those, so feel free to hit me up there. I share stories of what I'm up to at the allotments, when I'm out litter picking, etc., general eco tips, all that kind of good stuff. So please feel free to check out my links. So that's going to wrap it up for the day. One final reminder to tap that subscribe button, tap that thumbs up button, and leave a comment down below. All very much appreciated. Thanks very much for tuning in. YouTube is going to recommend a video somewhere for you to tap and watch next if you're in the mood for binging some My Carbon Coach content. It's totally okay if you're not. Anyway, in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of your plots, have a fantastic week. Cheers, everyone.